Range, FUD stories, let's hear some good ones. Be me and my buddy. Getting ready for a rifle, pistol transition and movement class. Just got done updating a few of my rifles for NVG shooting and they need to be zeroed. Drive almost 2 hours to the nearest outdoor range where I can plink in low light. It's technically a sight and range for hunting season and is closed about half the year but maintained by the forest rangers but WE. When I get there the only other people around are some old dude with a bolt-action deer rifle and some kid with a PSA AR-15. Start setting up for the evening. Old dude hobbles over and sees the 2 guns I brought with me. Those look suspiciously like weapons of war. I'm not much of a warfighter. Sees my nod helmet. You ain't part of one of those new militias, are you? No sir, I just like shooting. Well, make sure that you don't fall in with those people. Okay, thanks man. PSA kid finishes his set and I start setting up my targets, pick related, at 25, 50, and 100 yards. This confuses the old man because both he and PSA kid are using bullseye targets. You look like you are preparing for something. I'm not sure what you mean. Why are your targets shaped like people? A friend gave me a bunch. Are you preparing for something? I mean, I'm sighting in my rifles. It's better to do it now than later if I need them for whatever reason, and whatever paper I'm shooting at can't matter much to me. I knew it. That's how they get ya. I refuse to take part in it because it's silly. What are you talking about? They want to put us all up against each other and I refuse to take part in it. Okay. While the sun is dimming, a little over an hour before dark, we start zeroing our optics and my buddy's new backup irons. One of the rifles I brought is my Kel-Tec Sub 2000 Gen 2 with the M-Carbo optic mount, riser on it to try out. I unfold it and start getting it zeroed. What's the barrel length on that? 16 inches. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Would you like to try it? No, I do not, just want to make sure you're following the rules. For the next hour he cycles between watching us for a few minutes at a time and then taking 2 to 3 shots with his rifle. I worked my sub 2K out to 100 yards but the accuracy is not great. I'm peppering the target all over but all the shots are on paper. Buddy and I are talking about how the accuracy is good enough for .40 S&W and we are surprised that we can get hits on a man-sized target at 100 years consistently due to how the optic mount works. Old dude is in the watch us phase of his cycle and chimes in that we shouldn't be shooting at human-sized targets anyway. Invites us to try his deer rifle, which was actually a pleasant surprise. I take a shot with it, thank him and go back to what I'm doing. The sun is setting and he starts badgering us about how the rangers won't like us there after dark. Show him the hours for the range and that it doesn't officially close until an hour after sunset. He starts grimacing but walks back to his truck but not before asking us if he can keep our brass from the evening. Yeah man, go for it. Sorry dude, I thought it was funny when it was happening. Be me, Brit Bong. Walking out with my friend around town, a reasonably nice, predominantly white middle-class town in Essie, England. See bunch of white youths, 7 of them. About 14 to 15 years old, average, at a bus stop throwing stones at passing cars. We have to walk through them to get to where we are going. Walking through, they go quiet and stare at us. Pass through. One throws a stone at us that misses my mate. Mate opens his mouth. For fuck's sake mate. Gif. Kids start getting Larry. You want a mate, you wanna fight bruv, I'll shank you in it. They start reaching into their tracky bottoms pretending that they're going to pull knives out. Think I'm about to get stabbed. Was just a bluff, they had no knives. Kids go for us, one tries to punch me but I grab his arms. See one of the kids punching my mate in the face in the corner of my eye. This pisses me off. Big time. Chimp out mode, activated. Drop the kid who was grappling me, then rugby tackle the scrot who punched my mate into a parked car. If it wasn't there we would have ended up in the road. Kid gets up, tries to punch, misses. I charge him again, full force this time. Kid finally realizes the gloves are off and that I am going to hurt him, so he runs off. All his pikey mates do the same. Lady who owns shop that this all happened outside of rushes over, asks if we're okay, calls the police for us. Police arrive. They take a statement and say they'll do their best, but I know they'll do fuck all. Copper offers me a lift home. I take it. Probably my best self-defense story apart from a few times at school when I was jumped by random kids who I managed to fight off. Me. 16. On the way home from school with two buddies. Reach my street, we part ways. Mugger asks for cash. Scrawny lil fuck about my age, probably a dropout hustling for fix money. Shove him, beat him up, yelling abuse. He runs off crying. Reappears a few seconds later with his buddies. My buddies reappear a few seconds after that. Apparently they happened to look back and saw him accost me, and ran back. We stand there daring to men if they think they're hard enough. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, one of my buddies is the hugest jacked man around, still is. Whole gang declines to engage. King of the world.jpg. Wefwapif band of brothers.jpg. 20 years later I realize. We could have been shot or stabbed that day. All for lunch money. Don't fight unless it's really worth it. Me. Be at the range shooting with my buds. Nothing fancy, just some standard handguns. I had my Glock. Some fat fuck shows up in his security guard uniform. Tactic cool as fuck. Sergeant Tubby starts practicing his quick draw technique with his .44 Magnum. Struggling ensues. Gets revolver caught on retarded thigh holstered wise. Wildly flails arms when he does clear the holster. Staff quietly asks him to stop. Sergeant Tubby spurgs out. Starts yelling that he needs to do this for work. Staff leaves, presumably to call the cops. Tubby goes back to his training with a smug smile on his face. Cowboy stance. Draws iron. Fucks up again. Shoots himself clean in the foot. Legend has it you can still hear echoes of his screams mixed with outrageous laughter at that range. Have a couple half stories from this job. Most memorable ones are as follows. Me. Working security at an ER. 6 feet 1 inch, MMA, in stab vest, black suit and a mask. Looks spooky as fuck, but I can swap between scary and friendly by body language. Ambulance crew rolls in, and I overhear the support person, husband, is a hazard. Go out to meet them with nurses. EMTs are desperate to get out of truck. White obese woman is moaning and crying because she's badly constipated, and that shit basically feels like you're slowly exploding, so I sympathize. Handover is happening, beds are coordinated, info is shared. Meanwhile this maybe 40-year-old, 5 feet 9 inches black dude is swagger walking around the bay, in the way people do when they're stressed out but can't do anything so they're trying to look mean, you know it if you know it. Since I declared myself the de facto commissar of half the hospital, the king kind, not the dick kind, I decide that all I can really do here is go over, chat to him, let him vent his obvious, to me, worries, and de-escalate a potential hazard while the nurses work on helping his wife. Man is predictably spoiling for an argument and a scrap, absolutely hostile, but I'm pretty good at verbal fencing, have Trinity College diploma LMAO. Don't give him an opening to get mad without changing his angle or attitude, which would force him to de-escalate, and get him to slowly open up about his concerns so we can discuss them. This fucking nurse practitioner, Nigel, man of strong opinions and stronger ego, decides then to drag me off and give me a lecture on how to do my job and not put myself in danger because I was 22 at the time, and ER consensus was I was the nice, helpful orderly who made beds, delivered patients, held the pee bottle for patients, and made coffee and toast for people, and was too innocent and gentle for the ways of the world. Fucker, I am the dangered and apostrophe till mounted homage obi apostrophe vest hoodied violence and me whole life. Gif. Nigel says something dismissive, to SP. SP deliberately mishears it as something offensive, something about being unhinged, and starts getting proper aggressive, shouting and insulting the staff. Nigel, short fat scraggly white male nurse he is, decides to meet this outburst with stepping forward, raising a finger, and going, "Now you see here, you don't speak to us like that." In a tone that went past authoritative, to "I am talking down to you because I think you are human trash. Holy fuck, this guy apostrophes a fucking moron. JPEG. SP decides this is then caucus belly to get aggressive at the people standing around not treating his wife. I go to step in, 22, fighting fit, 6 feet 1 inch and very trained, to stop shit from happening. Nigel, 60, looks older, fat, 5 feet 8 inches, no training, steps in front of me to defend me because, as I'm increasingly realizing, he's something of an emotionally jaded bastard with an ego about being one of the senior guys on staff. His wife, still in pain, is begging him not to make a scene from the ambulance gurney she's laying curled up on. Bully in front of him and shove him away. Fend off his attempts to grab me, while dealing with the SP. How'd this happen? Be me. Grow up in a very rural area. Go hunting every weekend once I am around 8 years old. Learn to love nature. Learn to love animals. Learn to love hunting. Hunting leads to loving guns. Loving guns leads to joining the military after high school. Join the Marine Corps at 18. 0352, 2,2, Lejeune. Spend 8 years in and deploy a few times to the Middle East. Have nothing to jack off to while not on patrol. Buddy has some furry porn on his laptop. Get hooked. That's how it went for me, Anon. Be me. About to attend a free speech forum. People in black show up. Antifa scum threatens me. Hold my ground. Look them in the eye. Gather all my power. Proceed to utterly destroy them with facts and logic. Their puny leftist brains cannot handle the power of my reasoning skills. They all fall apart like a house of cards during a tornado. Be me. Foreign operative. Walk into giant room filled with blindfolded zoomers piloting drones. Pull out my antiquated Ruger Mk3 with integral suppressor. Spend the next 5 hours shooting them in the back of their heads one by one. Single-handedly defeat America with a pistol. Be me. Go to indoor range because they forgot to ban black powder. Idiots. Spend $5,000 on fancy black powder Colts and ammo. Shoot massive clouds of white smoke engulfing everything in front of me. Within a matter of seconds the cloud disappears into the $50,000 indoor range air filtration system. Delightfully devilish.jpg